Dust motes danced in the weak afternoon sunlight that slanted through the living room window, casting a golden glow that seemed to highlight the emptiness of the room. The old leather armchair sat empty, draped with a faded quilt that had once been vibrant with color, now dulled by time and neglect. A chipped mug rested on the side table, a ghost of coffee stains ringing the bottom, a silent testament to mornings long gone. On the mantelpiece, a family photo gathered dust, the glass slightly cracked, yet the smiles within remained untouched by the years. A man with kind eyes and 2 children, their smiles bright against the passage of time, captured in a moment of pure joy.
He barely recognized the carefree boy grinning back at him, a stark contrast to the man he had become. His father, Robert, had been gone for 6 years, leaving behind a void that no one could fill. The memory of his laughter fading like the scent of his cologne, lingering faintly before disappearing completely.
Maddie, 2 years younger than Zack, never spoke of their father, her silence a shield against the pain. She had been only 8 when Robert left, her childhood innocence shattered too soon. Her memories more impressionistic, like watercolor paintings left out in the rain, blurred and indistinct, yet hauntingly beautiful in their own way. It's easier not to think about him, Zack's voice echoed in his mind as he picked up a basketball, the weight of it grounding him in the present moment. The worn leather familiar under his calloused fingers, a reminder of countless hours spent on the court. Basketball had become his refuge, the rhythmic thud of the ball a constant in a life that felt off-kilter, a steady beat in the chaos of his thoughts. Maddie found solace in music, her headphones a permanent fixture, blocking out the world and its noise. Her voice a low hum as she navigated their quiet house, each note a small rebellion against the silence. Their mother, her face etched with a weariness that makeup couldn't quite mask, carried the burden of their fractured family. She worked long hours, her weary smile their reward, a small beacon of hope in their dark days.
"I'm doing this for you two," she would say, her voice thick with exhaustion yet filled with determination.
Zack knew she blamed herself, the weight of her guilt a silent presence in their home. Even though she never voiced the accusation, it lingered in the air, unspoken but felt. He often felt like he was carrying the weight of her unspoken grief along with his own, a heavy burden that seemed to grow with each passing day. The slam of a car door shattered the afternoon quiet. Zack looked up from his homework, a knot of apprehension tightening in his stomach. Maddie appeared in the doorway, her eyes wide with a mixture of curiosity and fear. They watched, holding their breath, as a figure emerged from the rusty sedan parked at the curb. It was him, older, thinner, his hair streaked with gray, but undeniably their father. He turned, catching their gaze, and a tentative smile flickered across his face.
"Hey kids."
His voice, a rusty hinge after years of silence, broke the fragile peace they had constructed around their lives. Maddie remained rooted to the spot, her hand clutching the door jamb. Zack felt a surge of anger, hot and immediate. Dinner was a strained affair, the kind where every clink of cutlery felt like a hammer on an anvil. Their mother, her face pale and drawn, fussed over Robert, her forced cheerfulness grating on Zack's nerves like nails on a chalkboard. Robert, seemingly oblivious to the tension that crackled in the air like static electricity, talked incessantly. He regaled them with stories of his travels, his voice a nervous torrent that filled the uncomfortable silence.
"Remember that time we went to the Grand Canyon, Zack? The view was breathtaking."
Robert laughed, reaching for his water glass, his laughter ringing hollow in the tense atmosphere. Zack stared at his plate, his food suddenly tasteless. The memories Robert stirred up leaving a bitter taste in his mouth. He didn't want to remember, didn't want to dredge up the past. He didn't want to open the door to a past that felt like a faded photograph, its edges blurred and indistinct, the colors washed out by time.
"Leave him alone, Robert,"
Maddie muttered, her voice low but sharp, cutting through the tension like a knife. Robert's smile faltered, and in the awkward silence that followed, Zack felt a sliver of satisfaction, sharp and cold, like a shard of ice.